ponies were still making their way across America the next day, and the animals were still floating across the water the next day. It was the 12th of December, but nothing was really happening. So, I don't think I'll tell you the boring story of the 12th of December as the ponies slowly walked across America and the animals slowly thought about the Barbie dolls and how they wished they were ponies. As the ship arrived in America, the guinea pigs started to squeak excitedly. Clover started to jump up and down, and the stick insects started to rock around on their twig in their little insect carriage. The animals got out of the boat quickly because they didn't know how long it would be till it moved off again. And on the other side they ran behind a hedge. It was quite late, 11 o'clock at night or something, so they decided to stay there until the next morning. The ponies had travelled a long way and were actually just a few roads away from the guinea pigs, had they known it. But then they stopped to rest for the night. Perhaps they would see it's a guinea pig who would help them tomorrow. And they travelled towards the bush that the animals were hiding behind. The animals found that on the other side of the bush was lots of long grass. It was somebody's garden, which they had let get overgrown. The guinea pigs ate some of this grass until 10:05 in the morning, when they started to walk further down the road. The ponies, meanwhile, were already on their way, and now they turned into a road, just as the animals did the same. Desiree looked out of the window. It was quite obvious now. Bubbles had tried to lead the others somewhere, and obviously he hadn't made it. So, what had happened? She would never know. She'd never know why he went in the first place, either. "I don't believe it," said Majesty. "Look who it is ahead of us." "It's the guinea pig," said Starlight. "The one I spoke about," said the pink pony of blooms. "And there are the two other figures behind him." They sped up and quickly arrived by the animal's side. "Oh, there you are," said Bubbles. "Oh, there you are," said Soapy. Then the two guinea pigs laughed. "I've been waiting for you to arrive. I've been waiting for you to come into sight. We've been on a boat. We've been on a boat." The two guinea pigs talked to each other like this for quite some time, and then they started to look around. The ponies behind them wanted to speak to Bubbles now. Is it true that you belong to Desiree Under from the My Little Pony Rescue Home?
Oh yes, I came straight from there. I come all the way over here on a boat.
Do you think that Desiree would give us a home?
I don't know. There's not much space in our house. What with all the plastic, My Little Ponies.
Well, what if we did something for her? Gave her something?
Well, actually,
replied Bubbles.
I was hoping to get her a pine little lonely plastic toy myself for her Christmas present. Perhaps we could all search.
Well, where would you get them?
Soup bales, obviously. Charity shops and foot tears.
But there aren't any of them around here, Bubbles. That is your name, isn't it?
Yes. Well then, we'll just have to look around what's here.
And then Diesel Bell said something.
There's some more glass on the other side of that hedge.
So the animals ran over to it. And then Bubbles saw just what he had wanted. 3 little ponies laying in the bush. The 3 favourites. But then, on the other side of the bush, he heard John and Mary, James and Olivia Brooke stared sadly out of the window. They really wished that they could be at home with their 2 new guinea pigs, Bubbles and Squeak. But they were stuck at school. It was while they'd been looking out of the window that they were sure they'd seen 3 little figures running up the road. A brown and white guinea pig, a coloured guinea pig, greys and browns and whites and blacks, and right at the back a Dutch rabbit, followed by a little blue cart full of insects. It must have been real, because both of them had seen it, and yet it was so unbelievable. Bubbles and Squeak were hardly going to run around the rabbit pulling a cart. No guinea pigs would. Or would they?
Come on, Diesel. We've got to go and help them.
They heard the cries for help from the 2 guinea pigs behind the bush. 2 little voices. Oh, please help us. We shouldn't be here. The animals rushed behind and saw the run in the corner of the garden.
Stay back!
Ordered Bubbles, and raced over.
Oh look, Splodge! Look what's coming! It's a brown and white guinea pig! He's actually going to help us!
Are you sure, Sparkle, that it's not a fox in disguise?
Of course it isn't! Just look! It's a guinea pig, and he's going to help us. What are your names?
asked Bubbles.
My name is Sparkle. And this is Splodge. But there's horrible children. They call us Bubbles and Squeak. That's funny,
said Bubbles.
Which one of you's called Bubbles? That's my name too. Oh, I'm Bubbles, but I like to be called Sparkle, because that's my real name.
Well then, said a voice from behind. Let's get them out.
I'm going to do this on my own.
Within half an hour, Bubbles had dug the guinea pigs out. And 2 guinea pigs ran out of the run and came with the ponies and animals. They were just in time to catch the boat, which was going back to Britain. It was to take 3 days to get there, they thought, because the wind was blowing in the right direction. 3 days, said Majesty, and then at least we'll be in the right country, as long as the black pony doesn't stop us. 3 days after that was the 17th of December. The ponies, sure enough, did arrive in Britain, but they didn't have a single penny left, or rather a single jangle. The food had run out, and so had the water. It was all right for the pets. They went and ate some grass, when Cotton Candy went to net somebody's flowers. But nobody else wanted to eat any of the stuff available. The water was a terrible problem, just as it had been in America. But the ponies had managed to melt some ice and take it with them on their boat ride, but now that had run out as well. And here, all the water had iced over, and there was nothing to melt it with now. Now came the next problem. The ponies knew that Desiree lived in Bilton Road, but since no pony had ever been on Earth, they didn't have a clue where Bilton Road was. They looked around. Suddenly, Bubbles said,
I know. If Desiree doesn't know we're here, she can't send a message to us, so we can't sit around waiting. But we could send a message to her.
Sparkle and Splodge squeaked in delight, and so did their twin brothers. Romper had now let Soapy and his owner take them back, since the black pony wouldn't be coming now, so it wouldn't be bad luck. Soapy, sure enough, had told his owner what to do with them. One was to be given to Truly, to go with Daisarella, Truly's pet guinea pig. This guinea pig was to be known as Dodge, Splodge's twin brother. Splodge and Dodge, because he liked to dodge people's hands and ponies' hooves. Lancer was to keep Sparkle's twin brother, Twinkle. And so it was decided.
You know, Bubbles, if this plan works, you'll have saved me twice. Once from the run and once now,
said Sparkle.
Has anyone got any wrapping paper for sale?
Asked Diesel. Yes, said Majesty. Not for sale, for free. I've got some. But why do you want wrapping paper?
Well, Bubbles got those ponies in the bush, didn't he? He'd like to wrap them up for Desiree.
And while Bubbles wrapped up the ponies, he kept giving them ideas for their plan, and eventually the ponies, together with Bubbles, worked out a plan that would get them money and hopefully get them Desiree as well.
Right, well, the first thing we've got to do is find a hall that we can hire just for that day.
Bubbles had been planning the ponies' way to get money all through the 18th of December. He hadn't stopped thinking about it all morning, all afternoon, all evening, and it looked as if he was going to go on all night. It was already midnight, and he was still working it out so that it would be perfect.
Right then, Cupcake,
he said.
The first thing you've got to do, you've got to get a piece of paper.
Luckily, one of the ponies still had some paper, and Cupcake grabbed a piece.
Right, now, we have to write a message to Desiree. She has to understand it, but it has to be in code so that the black pony doesn't understand.
Bubbles ran to Soapy, who ran to his owner. Luckily, his owner agreed to write the notice and hopefully get Desiree's help. But Bubbles still wasn't satisfied.
Well then, where are we going to hire? And when's it going to happen?
Oh yes, I forgot to tell you. The ponies were going to have a Christmas show. But of course they had to hire a hall. They were going to pretend to be singing, but really they'd be mouthing messages to Desiree, and they'd have a tape playing in the background. Desiree, of course, would come when she got their message. The question was how to get it to her, but Bubbles had come up with the clever plan of writing on a piece of paper and letting it blow away in the wind. But what chance was there of Desiree finding it? And who said that the black pony of darkness would get it first? On the 18th, the ponies had sent the little notes out. They had read, "We hope you are coming to the My Little Pony Xmas show, which is taking place in Underground Hall, Piccadilly, London. During the show, the MLPs will dance and sing to songs including Jingle Bells and one about a Christmas tree in trouble who needs help." After these notes had been thrown into the air, the ponies had begun to move on. They'd have to find Desiree if she didn't find the note, so they may as well start looking. As they slowly made their way through street upon street, they didn't have a clue what Desiree was actually doing. Desiree had given up on looking for Bubbles, Diesel and Clover. She thought that they must be dead by now. They'd been gone for 18 nights. That was over 2 weeks. They couldn't be coming back now. Desiree was out in Greenford. It had been a very windy night. On the night of the 18th of December, they had gone to Olympia to see the horses there. But today they were in Greenford. As I say, it had been a very windy night, and the notes had all blown towards Greenford. The ponies moved on. They looked around. Where were they? Somebody had got a map. The pony called North Star. Actually, she hadn't got a map, but her compass always pointed in the direction the ponies wanted to go next. At this time, they were heading towards Piccadilly, where they had hired their hall. The guinea pigs kept getting excited because they had never been on such a long adventure. In fact, they'd never been on an adventure at all. The rabbits were also excited, but they seemed to spend a lot of their time looking around. Lucky and Clover, 2 rabbits who belonged to, well, Desiree and a pony I won't name, since she comes into this series later, were looking around for Desiree and not having much success. Desiree, on the other hand, was now riding on a white horse ride, which was outside a clothes shop in Greenford. A gust of wind suddenly blew in her face, together with a piece of paper. It blew straight into her face, and as she reached up to grab it, she saw a strange writing on it. Desiree thought it was a shopping list, since she'd seen a lot of them blowing around outside Tesco's. But she looked at it anyway, just to see if it would be of any interest. And there she saw it. We hope you are coming to the My Little Pony Xmas show, which is taking place in Underground Hall, Piccadilly, London. During the show, the MLPs will dance and sing the songs including Jingle Bells and one about a Christmas tree in trouble who needs help. Some of the words were underlined. We was underlined. Hope you are was underlined. Coming to the My Little Pony Xmas show, which is taking place in, was underlined. Underground Hall, Piccadilly, London. During the show, the MLPs will dance and sing to songs including Jingle Bells and one about a Christmas tree in trouble, underlined, who needs help, exclamation mark, underlined. She had another look at these underlined words and saw the secret code. There was a phone number, and she decided she was going to ring it. When she saw what the secret message said, we are in trouble. Help! The following day, Desiree did ring the number 0208 1010 810. The phone rang for a while before being picked up and answered by...
Oh, somebody, go to that phone.
Bubbles cried. The ponies were rushing around, looking for the underground hall at Piccadilly. But they didn't have a clue where they were. They noticed it was getting busier around, and they had to make themselves invisible. After a long walk that day, the ponies had just about given up on the phone ringing. But then, just as the ponies were going to throw the phone away, they heard
Actually,
said Dieselbell, answering to Bubbles' call.
I'm going to answer it.
She grabbed hold of the phone.
Hello? Are you ringing about getting tickets to the My Little Pony Christmas show?
Asked Diesel. Who is this? Desiree asked.
This is Squeak, sister of truly happy with her owner. I can't tell you my real name. It's secret. But are you ringing about tickets to the show?
Yes, Desiree said. I got a note.
Yes, it is,
Whispered Diesel.
it is. It's Desiree Alder. She's ringing. Where did you hear about our show?
piece of paper blew into my face advertising the show when I was riding on a little white horse coin-operated children's ride in Greenford. Dieselbell answered,
Well, you won't be sent any tickets because it's so soon to the show. So you will just have to show up. You know where we're holding our show. Underground Hall, Piccadilly, London.
Alright then, said Desiree. But when is it happening? You didn't write what date it was happening on and what time.
4 o'clock on the 23rd,
said Dieselbell.
Monday the 23rd of December, 2 days before Christmas. Alright then. Thank you for ringing. You're the first people.
She stopped. She'd better not say that. Anyway, suddenly she started to hear more ringing telephones in the background and more ponies answering, telling the people on the phones to turn up, but each ticket would cost £15, which of course, when taken to the Black Pony of Darkness, his sister, the Pink Pony of Blooms, could be converted into 15 jangles, which would buy the ponies some food. On the morning of the 22nd, Desiree kept thinking about the voice, the one who had answered the phone to her. It had been familiar. She'd heard it, well, only a few weeks ago. Could it have possibly been Dieselbell? The ponies arrived at the Underground Hall on the 22nd of December. They raced around, getting everything ready for the show the following day. They were actually only just in time, just finishing it, as it got to 3:45 on the 23rd. The ponies opened the doors at 4 o'clock and saw that no one had turned up. So they decided to change the time to 6 o'clock. That's what they put on the door, 6 o'clock. Desiree was already in a panic because it was 3:30 when she remembered about the pony show again, and she hadn't had her dinner. Mummy knew that Desiree was taking her out somewhere, but she didn't know where. And Mummy didn't even know the time that the show started, since Desiree had simply forgotten to tell her. Desiree quickly ran the phone number to check that it was going to start at 4 o'clock, and the same little voice answered.
Hello?
Oh, it's you again, Desiree said.
Oh, didn't you ring yesterday?
Yes, I did. I wondered if the show was still going on at 4 o'clock, since I probably won't be there in time.
Well, probably not. It will probably be on at 6 o'clock now.
Right, said Desiree. That's good, because I've just got to have my dinner before we can come, and we've got to come on the train, which could take up to an hour.
Well, I hope you can make it,
said Diesel Girl before putting the phone down. For the following 2 hours, the ponies practiced their show, till in the end it was working perfectly, and they were ready for 6 o'clock. Desiree, Jackie and David Alder made their way towards the station and left for Piccadilly just 5 minutes later. It took them half an hour to get there, including waiting for the trains. But they didn't complain, since they had waited for much longer times than 5 minutes. When they arrived, Desiree told them to get off the train and led them towards where Diesel, except she didn't know it was Diesel, had told her to go. She came up the stairs from the station and went down another lot of stairs just by the side. And sure enough, down in the underground passageway, she saw 2 big blue doors. With a small sign on them saying the show will start at 6 o'clock, and it was now 5 to 6. Just as they approached, the doors swung open, and lots of people started to run in front of them, including some of the residents from Chestnut Lodge. Which included Mary and Aaron Meekins on some flying zinners. They had special motors just on the inside of the Zimmer frame's handles, and little platforms to stand on, and big pink wings sticking out the side, and all the residents from Chestnut Lodge were riding on them. The Alder family were the first to go through the doors and saw lots and lots of red seats. The best seats were the 4th row up, and Desiree found that that's where she was being told to go, because Diesel had said row D, which of course was the 4th row up, and they were the best seats. But Desiree hadn't even paid. She hadn't paid a penny.
I wonder what this can be,
said Mummy.
I hope it's not a pantomime.
I've told you before, said Desiree. It is not a pantomime. It's something that you will enjoy. Said David. I had to come here tonight. It's to do with something that's been happening Something that's been going on for quite a long time, but I think you'll find out about that later.
What has been going on?
Asked Mummy.
Does it have anything to do with guinea pigs wearing necklaces?
Actually, as a matter of fact, said Desiree, it does. But that's another matter you will find out later. But we've got to wait. We've got to wait. Said David. Asked Mummy. Said David, as the curtains slowly raised up. And then the show started. Grandma and Grandad sat in the seats next to them, and they stared at the stage. Mummy not being able to believe her eyes. But Desiree was more interested in what was going on in the background. A little white hoof kept appearing round the curtains, calling them to the stage. Then, before they knew it, the first interval came, and over the loudspeaker came a little voice.
Will the older family please come to the stage area? Will the older family please come to the stage area?
So they did. But before they had a chance to speak to the ponies, the next part of the show came. Well, how can I get to talk to you then? Asked Desiree.
I just can't believe this.
Said Mummy.
It must all be a dream.
Well, you'll have to find out later. Well, you could always come onto the stage, said Speedy, racing up on roller skates. But the next part's on ice, so you'd have to wear some roller skates of mine, of course. Mummy just stared.
I can't go ice skating,
she said. She said, of course you can, it's quite easy. Well, I'm going anyway, said Desiree, because I have to find out what the ponies have to say. She soon found out all about the ponies' long journey. When the show ended, the ponies explained that they wanted to have somewhere to live. Just temporarily. Our Ponyland was rebuilt because they had seen what had happened earlier that day. A big explosion in the sky, ruining Ponyland. The black pony must have hit it, some kind of bomb. But the ponies did have something to give her in return. They had found the animals, together with Sparkle and Splodge. She was so pleased to see her animals again. Bubbles held up the Christmas present and she put it in her pocket.
I hope you like it,
he said. Well, you'll be able to see me open it, won't you, Bubbles?
I'm afraid,
said Soapy.
That won't be possible. Bubbles, we have to leave now. What? I've just got back to my owner. Leave to where? Rainbow Land, of course.
To find out where Rainbow Land is, please go to our next tape. Part 3 of Lanceriffic, together with the 5th tape, called The Great Journey. And for what? Nothing.